I never thought I'd be the guy posting on a relationship subreddit, but here I am at 3:12 a.m., staring at my phone in the dark, while my wife sleeps next to me like nothing in the world is wrong. We've been married for 7 years. No kids yet. Good jobs. Decent house. From the outside, we look solid. People used to tell us we were that couple, the calm, stable ones, the ones who wouldn't ever fall apart. And maybe that's why the first signs felt so small, so easy to ignore. She started coming home later. Not crazy late. Just late enough that dinner got cold. She always had an excuse. Work ran long, traffic was insane, my boss needed me. She used to talk nonstop about her day. Suddenly, everything became vague. It was fine. Nothing special. I told myself I was being paranoid, that real marriages go through quiet phases. But something in my gut kept whispering that the silence wasn't peace. It was hiding something. Then the phone thing started. She used to leave it everywhere. On the couch. In the kitchen. Face up. No passcode stress. Now it was glued to her. Always face down. Always on silent. She'd take it into the shower. The bathroom. Even when she went to grab mail. If I walked into a room, she'd tilt the screen away like it was instinct. Once, I asked who she was texting and she snapped, "Why are you interrogating me?" That hurt more than the answer would have. I started feeling like a stranger in my own marriage, like I had earned access to my own wife's attention. At night, she'd lie next to me scrolling, smiling at something that clearly wasn't me. I'd turn toward her, try to talk, and she'd say, "Can we do this later?" Later never came. The night everything cracked open wasn't dramatic. No yelling, no explosions, just a stupid charger. Her phone died while she was in the shower, and it kept vibrating on the nightstand. Over and over. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But after the fifth buzz, I picked it up. The screen lit up with a name I didn't recognize. Not a coworker. Not a friend I'd ever heard about. Just a first name and a heart emoji. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might throw up. I didn't unlock it. I didn't need to. The preview said, "I miss you already. Tonight was perfect." My hands were shaking. My ears were ringing. In the bathroom, the shower kept running like nothing had changed. I sat there on the edge of the bed holding her phone, realizing in real time that my life wasn't what I thought it was. That whatever we had, whatever I believed in, had just slipped out of my hands. I didn't confront her right away. I wish I could say I was strong in that moment, but I wasn't. I just sat there, staring at her phone, like it was a bomb about to go off. My mind started racing through every late night, every vague answer, every time she said she was too tired for me. When she came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, humming like everything was normal, I almost lost it right there. But instead, I handed her the phone and said, as calmly as I could, "Your friend keeps texting you." She froze, not confused, not surprised, frozen, like a kid caught stealing. Then she laughed, this nervous, fake laugh. "It's just someone from work," she said. I asked, "Since when do coworkers send hearts and say they miss you?" Her face changed. The warmth dropped out her eyes. She sat down slowly on the bed and said, "You're overreacting." That's when the lies started coming fast. Too fast. She said it was nothing, that I was imagining things, that the message didn't mean what I thought it meant, that I was being insecure. She actually had the nerve to tell me I was projecting my own issues onto her. I felt like I was going crazy. Like, maybe I really was the problem. But then I asked to see the messages, and she said no. Just no. Flat. Final. That was the moment I knew. Innocent people don't protect secrets like that. I stood up and said, "If there's nothing to hide, show me." She crossed her arms and said, "I don't have to prove anything to you." 7 years of marriage, and suddenly I wasn't entitled to the truth. I slept on the couch that night, not because she told me to, but because I couldn't lie next to her without feeling sick. My mind kept replaying that preview message over and over. Tonight was perfect. What did that mean? Dinner? A kiss? A bed? I barely slept. Around 4 a.m., I heard her get up and quietly leave the apartment. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. That's when I did something I never thought I'd do. I logged into our shared iPad. Same Apple ID. Same cloud. Her messages were there. All of them. What I read broke something in me I don't think will ever fully heal. Weeks. Months. Plans. Jokes. Complaints about me. Screenshots of hotels. She called him my escape. She told him I was controlling and emotionally distant. She said she stayed with me because it was easier than starting over. I sat on the floor at 5 in the morning, scrolling through my own betrayal like it was a crime scene. Every "I love you" she sent him felt like a knife. Every time she told him she wished she was waking up next to him instead of me, I felt smaller, dumber, disposable. When she came back later that morning, I was still sitting there. She took one look at my face and knew. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "How long?" She dropped her keys and whispered, "It's not what you think." I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was insane. She'd been exposed and still reached for a lie. I said, "I've read everything." Her shoulders slumped. And for the first time, she didn't look powerful. She looked scared. She sat down across from me like she was preparing for a negotiation, not a confession. Her first move was to minimize everything. "It wasn't serious," she said. "It just started as talking." I told her I'd seen the hotel screenshots, the "I love yous," the plans. She nodded slowly like she was accepting a bad grade. Then she switched tactics. Suddenly it was my fault. She said I stopped trying, that I worked too much, that I didn't make her feel desired anymore. I listened to her rewrite our marriage in real time, turning me into the villain, so she could stay the hero of her own story. It was surreal. I remembered all the nights I came home early just to have dinner with her. All the times I asked if she was okay. All the times she said she was fine. Now fine meant lying. Then she cried. Not quiet tears. Loud, dramatic ones. She covered her face, shook, said she didn't mean for any of this to happen, that he just understood her, that she felt seen with him. I asked, "So what was I doing for 7 years?" She didn't answer. She just kept saying she was confused, that she didn't want to lose me, that she didn't want to lose him either. And that right there told me everything. I wasn't her choice. I was her safety net, her stability, her backup plan, the man who paid half the bills and gave her a normal life while she chased excitement somewhere else. I asked her if she loved him. She hesitated, just for a second, but that second destroyed me. Then she said, "I don't know." I told her, "If you don't know, that's already an answer." She reached for my hand. I pulled away. The way she looked at me then, hurt, angry, desperate. It wasn't the face of someone who was sorry for hurting me. It was the face of someone who was afraid of losing control. For the next few days, the apartment felt like a war zone with no weapons, just tension. She followed me around trying to talk, trying to explain, trying to convince me this could still be fixed. She deleted his number in front of me like it was some grand gesture. Swore she'd never see him again. Said she'd go to therapy, couples counseling, church, anything. I noticed how every promise came after I started pulling away. Not before. Not when she was lying to my face every night. Only now, when the consequences were real. At night. I'd lie awake listening to her breathe and wonder how someone could share a bed with you while secretly sharing their heart with someone else. I felt humiliated, like the whole world knew except me. I replayed every memory and wondered which ones were fake, which smiles were lies, which kisses were already borrowed. I didn't recognize my own life anymore. One evening, she said, "You're not perfect either." That sentence snapped something in me. I stood up and said, "No, I'm not." But I didn't build a second relationship behind your back. She rolled her eyes, actually rolled them, like I was being dramatic. That was when I realized she didn't truly see what she'd done. Not really. She saw it as a mistake. I saw it as a choice. 1,000 small choices stacked on top of each other. That night, I packed a bag. Just clothes, laptop, charger, the basics. She stood in the doorway, watching me like she couldn't believe I was serious. She said, "So you're really leaving?" I said, "I already left. This is just my body catching up." I stayed with friend for a week, sleeping on his couch like a ghost of my old life. He didn't ask many questions, which I appreciated. He just handed me a beer the first night and said, "You don't have to talk." But the silence was loud. Every quiet moment filled up with memories and what-ifs. I kept checking my phone, even though I'd muted her. Old habits die hard. I'd reach for it, like I was waiting for something that could fix everything. But nothing could. On the fourth day, I called a lawyer. My voice sounded strange in my own ears, calm, businesslike, like I was scheduling a dentist appointment instead of the end of my marriage. He explained the process. Separation. Assets. Timelines. I took notes. When the call ended, I sat in my car for a long time, staring at the steering wheel, realizing I was choosing a future that didn't include her. That thought hurt, but it also felt clean, like opening a window in a room that had been suffocating me for years. When I finally went back to the apartment to grab more things, she was there waiting, sitting on the couch like nothing had changed. Like we were about to watch a movie together. She looked tired. Not sad. Tired. She said, "I've been thinking a lot." I told her I had too. She said she ended things with him, that she blocked him, that she realized I was the one she wanted. I asked, "Do you want me, or do you just want her old life back?" She didn't answer right away. She said, "You're being unfair." I laughed again. That bitter, hollow laugh. I told her what was unfair was lying in my face for months, and then acting shocked when I stopped trusting her. She tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. She said I was being cold. I said, "No, I'm being awake." Then she got angry, real angry. She said I was throwing away 7 years over one mistake. She said everyone cheats. She said I was naive to think love was enough. She said I'd regret this, that no one else would put up with me the way she did. That hit low. It was meant to. She wanted me scared. She wanted me small. But instead, it made something inside me go quiet, calm. I realized she wasn't trying to save the marriage. She was trying to save her comfort. I packed more clothes, my books, a framed photo of my parents. She stood there crossing her arms, watching me dismantle the life we built. At the door, she said, "So this is it?" I said, "This was at the moment you chose someone else." She started crying again, but I didn't turn back this time. Not because I didn't care, because I finally cared about myself more. Over the next weeks, I found a small apartment across town. Old building, thin walls, cheap rent, but quiet. No lies in the air, no tension in the furniture. The first night there, I sat on the floor eating takeout and felt something strange. Not happiness, not relief, just space, emotional space. Like my mind finally had room to breathe. The quiet in my new place was almost unsettling at first. No footsteps in the hallway, no phone vibrating at midnight, no tension hanging in the air like static, just me and my thoughts. I started building routines to keep myself from spiraling. Morning coffee by the window, gym after work, long walks at night with music in my ears. I deleted old photos from my phone one by one, not out of anger, but out of necessity. Each one felt like putting down a memory that was too heavy to keep carrying. Friends said I looked different, tired but clearer, like someone who had finally stopped lying to himself. About 3 months after I moved out, she reached out again. A long message. Apologies. Regret. I see everything differently now. Therapy changed me. I know what I lost. She said she missed our life, our routines, our inside jokes. She said she still loved me. I stared at the screen for a long time, not because I didn't care, because I did. But caring wasn't enough anymore. I wrote back kindly. I told her I hoped she kept working on herself. I told her I wished her peace. And then I said the hardest thing. I'm not coming back. When I blocked her, my hand was shaking, but my chest felt lighter. Slowly, I started dating again. Carefully. No rushing. No pretending I was fine when I wasn't. I met people who were honest, Who didn't hide their phones? Who didn't make me feel crazy for asking questions? For the first time, I understood what emotional safety felt like. No games, no constant doubt, just consistency, respect. It felt almost boring at first. Then I realized boring was actually healthy. Real love doesn't hurt. It doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you question your worth. Looking back, I see how long I stayed because of fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of admitting my marriage had failed. I confused loyalty with self-destruction, patience with weakness, hope with denial. I thought enduring pain made me strong. It didn't. Leaving did. If you're reading this and you're stuck in a relationship full of lies, secrecy, and half-truths, hear me. You cannot fix someone who doesn't want to be honest. You cannot love someone into respecting you. You cannot sacrifice yourself to keep someone comfortable. Walking away isn't giving up. Sometimes it's survival. I thought discovering her betrayal would ruin my life. Instead, it gave me the chance to finally live it.